Yo, what's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy, Marcus Elbow. I want to welcome you to Healthy Music, and if this is your first time, I appreciate you clicking on this video. Listen, before we get started, I need you to do me a favor. Go ahead on and hit that sub button, man. We got a lot of y'all be watching these videos, and y'all just don't hit that sub button. I don't know what the deal is, but I would appreciate it if you do that, and also hit that like button for me. Today, we're going to be talking about DAW controllers again. But y'all remember, if you watched my last video, if you haven't watched it, I'm going to leave a link up here. The last video I did, I said that there was another controller that was out there. It was coming, and it was called the Icon controller. It's like, you know, they've been around for a while, but I hadn't had the opportunity to work with it. They said that it worked with Reason. Since I'm a Reason user, in my mind, I was like, I want to really see what this DAW controller can do. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about that new controller, and I'm also going to talk about the other controllers that I have, or the controllers that I used to have, and then we're just going to compare the two. So let's go ahead on and get to work, man. Let's go. Hey, live better, feel better, you'll make better music. As y'all already know, there's a few controllers out there. Last time we did this video, I talked about the FaderPort 16. I really enjoyed that, especially using it with Studio One. I mean, they're just meant to work together. It's a pre-Sonus product. So I definitely love that controller, but eventually it just was too small for me. I needed a little bit something bigger. So what I did in the main studio is I ended up going with the Studio 32 SC, right? This is a mixer / DAW controller, and it works with Studio One. I love that controller. It's phenomenal. It does everything I needed to do in the studio, but I also have a mixing and mastering section that's behind me here. And I've been looking for a controller that was, let me just say it this way, user-friendly, okay? Y'all already know that I do have the Avid controllers. Y'all have seen me talk about those. I think they're pretty neat. I love the way they're built. Even though they're plastic, they still have a sturdy, real nice feel to them. The faders are responsive, they're quick, they're motorized, of course. I don't really deal with anything that's not motorized. So I really love that controller. But just like I was just telling y'all before, we have the icons in the house now. You know what I mean? And let me just tell you right off the top, soon as I put these controllers on my desk, they felt professional. You know what I mean? Not saying that the Avid controllers didn't feel, the S1s didn't feel professional. But when I put these on my desk, it felt professional. You know what I mean? And the ones that I'm talking about is the Icon V1M and the V1X, right? So the V1M is the actual, it has the transport controls on it, as I'm showing you right here. And it also has 8 tracks, right? So that you can use those interchangeably. Now you gotta remember, when you're using the controller, I don't really think it matters so much per se if you have 16, 32 or whatever, because remember, all of this stuff is kind of virtual, so you can slide these faders or slide inside of your DAW so that you can control these. You don't have to have the entire 16. Now, I like having 16 faders. I just like having 16 faders, and if I had a lot more room, I probably would have 32. But the V1M comes with the transport controls, that's all on the right. It has a 7-inch screen that you can actually use to have programmable stuff that's inside of your DAW. Like they just say, if you wanted to be able to access some settings, or you want to access effects or anything of that nature, you could use this screen real quickly to access those without touching your mouse, right? Because that's the whole purpose of doing this, you know what I mean? And the whole purpose of this video is, do you really need a controller, right? But before I answer that question, I'm just gonna really explain to you how cool and professional this Icon controller really is. And again, it's coupled with the V1X, which is an extension of that controller. So if you don't wanna have just the 8 and you wanna add another 8, they just couple right together. Very easy, very simple. And man, it works like a charm. Now, let's talk about the Avid controller versus these Icon controllers. So when I first bought the Avid S1 controllers, I got 3 different, I have the control command center, right? That has my transport controls. Then I have an S1, I have 2 S1 Avid controllers that hook up to my computer. All 3 of them hook up. You can use the iPad with this. It's a pretty neat setup. A little cumbersome getting started, a little hard to set up, but once you do get it set up, it's pretty good. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. I had these controllers for probably about 8-9 months. and I was only using them with Pro Tools. Well, the Pro Tools deal that I had was free. It was like a subscription to something. You get a year free. When that free subscription ran out, I didn't want to get Pro Tools again because I haven't really worked on Pro Tools. I know Pro Tools, but I just didn't want to buy Pro Tools. I already got enough DAWs. So what I decided was I just wasn't gonna, I don't know. They just look good. I wasn't really using them. So then I started watching other videos on Qbases. Now I've used Qbase on the iPad, as y'all already know. I've done tutorials on that, but I've never used it in the Mac environment. So what I decided, I was gonna go ahead on and just buy Qbase. So I bought Qbase, and man, Qbase, I don't understand why I couldn't get Reason to work with the S1s. I really couldn't, I'm gonna talk about Reason and the Icon because again, a lot of people said they work great together, but when I downloaded Qbase and I went through the setup process, it just really ignited my Avid S1 controllers like I had never really seen besides when I had Pro Tools. I was really, really happy about this. I do like Qbase as a company. I think they've been around for a very long time. I don't think that they get the respect that they should. I think the DAWs are awesome. I know the iPad DAW is second to none. I mean, that was really the only one that I used besides programming my beats and making my beats in Beatmaker 3. I would always, if I'm gonna do a song or anything like that, I was gonna use Qbases inside of the iPad. So anyway, got the Avid S1s going, even the command center with the transport controls, and I fell in love with these controllers all over again, right? But man, the icons, right? Back to the icons. The icons are pretty dope. Let me just give you some features on them. It comes with 9 touch-sensitive motorized faders. They're 12-bit, meaning that's your resolution. You know what? I do like the touch function. You can touch them and then they'll light up on the DAW. That's pretty dope. Like I said, it has a 7-inch screen with 24 programmable little controllers that's inside the screen, as I'm showing you here. Again, it works with a lot of DAWs. So let's talk about how it works with the DAWs. So on the Icon, you can actually have 3 different DAWs programmed into this controller where you can hit a button based on the program. You can have 2 DAWs up, and if you're working in Reason and you're working in, let's just say you're working in Qbases and you're working in Studio One, then automatically, once you hit that button, it will automatically switch over to the DAW that you designated it to work with, and then you can continue working. This functionality is awesome. I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty cool, right? Reason, let's talk about Reason. Now, I don't know if this is just because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So I could not get the icons to truly work the way that the icons work with Qbases in Studio One. Studio One was no problem. It seemed like as soon as Studio One, the controllers recognize it was Studio One, it already comes pre-programmed. You don't have to do anything. I mean, it is just that easy to set it up. I'm not gonna say it's that easy with the S1s, the Avid S1s. Trust me, that thing, I don't know what the hell Avid was thinking, but they did way too much to try to get that going. But anyway, with the icons, when you set the icons up, it's super, super easy. I'll show you a little bit of that. And they just work. It worked with Qbases, it worked with Studio One. Reason, it kind of worked, but it was still a little squirrely. I don't really understand what's going on with Reason. I think you have to literally go in and manually program some different things. I just didn't want to do that. I expected it to work just like it worked with Qbases in Studio One, but I was unlucky with that. So if you definitely know how to set this up better than me, or you have some type of file or something you can send me, then I would definitely, welcome that, and I would use it, and then I would talk about it. But how does it work with Qbase in Studio One? Absolutely magnificent. Now let's get to the question at hand. The question at hand is simple. Do you need a DAW controller? Well, yes. That's the short answer. You know what I mean? Do you need a DAW controller? I would say yes. The reason why I would say that, I remember when I was a young musician and we used to go to the studios and I would see those big boards. It would give me so much inspiration. I would just be so eager, so, amped up to just touch it, feel it. Even though we had engineers and whatnot, I just wanted to touch the faders. I wanted to touch the dials, EQs, and things of that nature. So I get that same feeling when I'm mixing inside of my home studio And that's just a feeling you just cannot get anywhere else. And plus, you know, it just makes the music, you can feel it in your fingers, you know, especially with these motorized, you know, faders. It's just like when you move them and you feel it moving and you looking at your DAW and you feel the DAW reacting, or you see the DAW, you know, you see the DAW reacting to your touch and your movements and the small increment movements that you can make instantaneous when you working with a controller. You can't get that anywhere else, and you damn sure ain't gonna get that with a mouse. I'm sorry, it's just not gonna happen. Can you mix without it? Yes, you can. Is it enjoyable not to mix without it? I don't see how it can be enjoyable. If you have the money, you have access to the controller, you have to at least try it out. You get it and you're like, oh, boy, this really ain't doing nothing for me. Then I can understand. Send it back, get your money back, you know. And if I want to go ahead and do a shameless plug, go to Sounds. You know what I mean? I got links in the description. They do a 45-day return. So if you want to try these out, I'll have links in the description. You can go get you a S1, or you can go get you these icons. At least just get the Icon V1M. That's the one with the transport controls and 8 tracks. Go ahead and grab that, hook it up, and see how you feel. I'm almost willing to guarantee that you once you go with the faders and you go with the tactile feel, you just ain't gonna go back. You just ain't gonna go back. I'm sorry. It's just not gonna happen. So I would tell you or anybody else that's serious about making music, that is looking for the nostalgia of, you know, being in a real professional environment, this is the route to go. And again, you don't have to get the S1s, the Avid S1s. They are a little expensive. The V1s are a little bit less expensive, but you can still go with the almost super less expensive, which is the fader port. And I think the fader port 16 is running for, like, if I'm not mistaken, like $6.99 right now for the 16. But you also can get the 8 and you can get the 1. So to answer the question, yes, you know what I mean? If you can afford it, definitely get you some controllers, man. You're just gonna love it. And plus, they just look so professional. If you're working with clients or anything like that, you know, they're just gonna be like, yo, this is what I'm paying for. You know, I'm paying for the professionalism, the look, and the feel of what my music sounds like coming out of that studio. All right. So yeah, man, you definitely want to do that. Listen, I'm back. I know y'all probably missed me. I went on a vacation, bro. I was all over the damn place. We went to Washington, me and my wife. We went to Baltimore, we went to Philly, and we went to New York, which was crazy. All my New Yorkers, bro, salute. I don't know how the hell y'all do it. That was crazy. But anyway, I'm back. You know what I mean? I'm gonna start back making videos. Definitely doing tutorials. I know y'all miss me. YouTube is, you know what I mean, mad at me. So, you know, they're gonna make you feel some type of way. But I'm back, you know what I mean? So if you got any requests for videos, go ahead and get down in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. And yeah, we just gonna get back on our normal regimen of making videos every week. All right. So man, you already know what it is, man. Live better, feel better, make better music. I will catch y'all in the next one. All right. All right, man. One. Peace. I'm out.